morning. Not Vietnam. This is your doorstep, your bathroom, your car, probably your room because, well, maybe you're unemployed.
Your office.
Your office, your
Yeah.
domicile, your dungeon, your love dungeon.
Ooh.
Not
Share
mine's not
pictures of those.
mine's not a love dungeon. If you can show pictures. Good evening. I like saying good evening because it's creepier. I don't think any scary movie ever started with good morning, you know.
Well, Coop, you just we weren't recording this, but you're just saying how you don't like people when they single out a whole group of people, and you just single people out by saying good evening, and
Good.
not acknowledging those who are listening to this in the morning or in the afternoon
And you know
or
what I
at
say
dawn.
to those morning people? Good day.
There you go.
Still there.
Thanks for listening.
And that's it.
Thank you. That's our TED talk.
Yeah, except what I'm saying is opinion, not controlling anyone's lives. So there you go. There's the difference.
There you go.
My opinion has no value.
Hey, at least you acknowledged it.
Well, that's step one.
Yeah.
Step two
now
is
go write
maybe
it on Twitter and post it to the world.
God, Twitter's tough. I wish people would get outraged with my tweets. Sometimes I try.
Yeah.
I reach because, dude, it's like I'm jealous of these people that have like outraged fans on Twitter. But you got to get a following, dude. You got to get some notoriety.
Yeah.
I'm just a guy that pushes podcasts every week. I got to have an edge.
My thing with my Twitter account is that I think I put out like great content. Like I'm fucking typing it up and I'm laughing as I'm doing it. I'm like, oh, is this gonna be a success?
Yeah.
And like no one even like acknowledged it. Not a single
It's
like.
it breaks my will. Twitter,
Yeah, like
I don't know.
Like a couple weeks ago, or last weekend actually, last Friday, or I'm sorry, that's on Sunday. I'm fixing my microphone over here because that's what you do when you're a professional.
Yep.
There was a final for the European Euro Cup, whatever, and it was Italy versus England, the final. So I thought I was gonna be funny. I'm like, oh, okay, this is I like food. Everybody on Twitter likes food. I put a picture of a spotted dick, which is the
food.
dessert, and I put cannoli also. So I put Sunday spotted dick versus cannoli, and no one fucking like. Not a single thing. And I'm like, that's funny, dude. I'm like, I thought it was fucking funny. And then like once Italy won, like I put the picture of cannoli and be like, hey, the best dessert in Europe goes to, and no one seemed to care.
You should have.
Right. Now that I say it out loud,
yeah,
I see why it wasn't that funny actually.
Well, see, that's part of the issue, and that's part of my issue too, is internalizing and then doing.
Yeah.
Like I made this thing and I showed Steph once, and I was kind of proud of it because it's a labor of love.
Yeah.
Regardless of how good it is, you put effort into it, and you're proud of that damn thing.
Yeah.
And it was an inbred abortion. That's what it should have been. But I thought it was cute. I was ready to love it, yeah. And Steph spit on it, and she made me cry, and we never talked about it until now. Just kidding.
Suppressed that feeling for a while.
No, but but I was showing her something that she was just like like stone face. I was just like, oh, but it's good criticism. It just kills your spirit a little, but it's necessary. You need to have your will broken before it happens, and before a mass of people, and then your heart's broken.
That's what? I recycle it, so I'll go ahead and save those jokes. It bombed. Okay, cool. We'll work it. I'll work it. Yeah, I'll work it back in there.
You bring it back to life. Oh,
I'll try.
That's brave.
I'm a stubborn guy.
Yeah, that is stubborn.
Yeah.
You're like, you say it like 3 times and then hold your mouth open after every time.
You're like, no.
I've done that, and I'm like, oh, not like that many, but I've done it twice. And I remember repeating it because I thought that person didn't hear me, and then they actually called me out and said, "No, I heard you the first time." And
that wasn't funny.
And then it made me sad.
Yeah.
But it's important to say that because people do get too confident with saying dumb shit.
Yeah.
And when you say dumb shit, I feel like part of saying dumb shit is getting shit on because you're putting yourself out there, and part of putting yourself out there is taking that bullet every once in a while.
Yeah.
That's kind of part of the fun, though, right? That's the risk
You,
part.
you can't have nothing but nonstop hits. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly, dude. Not everyone is Boston first record.
Yeah. I mean, look at the Beatles. They have some songs that suck.
Yeah, they probably got a lot more songs that don't, but it depends on how you view the Beatles. And I think me and you have gone over this. We're not the biggest Beatles fans, right?
I'm not like, I mean, I still want to see Paul McCartney live.
Oh, of course. We're not saying that.
I'm not saying that.
But we're just saying, like, in comparison to, like, people that worship the Beatles.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you why fucking Revolution number 9, like, revolutionized, like, the music. I'm like, okay.
I don't even know that song. You mean Revolver?
No, there's a song called, like, Revolution number 9.
I didn't even know that.
It's off their White Album.
Oh, the White Album.
Yeah, it's just a really bad acid trip. I might be getting the name wrong also, so all you fucking Beatles purists out there who's like, that's not right, Danny. The actual title's called, sorry.
That's not right, Danny.
That's not right.
They say it like the Beatles would.
Yeah.
The fucking dumb bowl cuts.
They need to come back though. That'll be cool.
Paul
McCartney, if you listen to this, you're never going to listen to this. But you're somebody else who also needs to bring down the prices, damn it.
Oh, dude, for sure. Especially when you start looking like Angela Lansbury, dude. Like, if you looked like young Paul McCartney, maybe.
Yeah.
But, dude, you're looking like you killed Paul McCartney and put his face on, dude.
Some say he did.
That's right. I've actually heard that conspiracy that he died in the late 60s?
He died in the late 60s in the car accident.
A body double.
Yeah.
Steph hates when I bring up these conspiracy theories.
Dude,
she fucking hates it.
Okay, I fucking hate him too. I'm not gonna lie.
Do you hate this one though?
I love this one because it's very intriguing.
It's fun.
It's fun because it's music.
Yeah,
so it's very intriguing. And then like they give you like the examples of where like the Beatles were giving you like
where they're tricking you. Yeah,
where they're like dropping hints so you know. And I hear it and I'm like, oh my god, they're right. And there I'm like questioning my whole life.
What fucks with me though? But the scary thing is basically all the shit I like is after Paul McCartney died.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, what if it is true? Because all the shit musically they were doing in the early 60s or into late 60s was super like poppy
and shit. Yeah.
So like once they made that change, which could have been just drugs too. I mean, dude, I don't know. Here's a great, we'll never know that answer.
Here's what the only thing I have to say about that conspiracy theory. And I mean, there's a document. I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube. It used to be on Netflix
there's
also.
For sure YouTube.
The Paul is dead or something. It's like an hour and a half, and supposedly it's George Harrison as he died. He wrote this letter, or he wrote this like he
like a memoir
tape, memoir talking about how the real Paul McCartney died and like where was the hints and why they went along with it the whole time. Well, here's my thing. If this new Paul is the one who like replaced, he took all the credit, how come he was so successful with Wingspan?
No, you mean Wings?
I'm sorry. Yes. Why was he so successful with Wings?
Well, my point to argue for this, just because, is that's what as Paul McCartney is the imposter. He can sing, he can do all this shit. It's just not Paul McCartney.
Yeah, but if everybody's saying like Paul McCartney wrote all these like amazing pop songs in the early 60s, like, I Want to Hold Your Hand, She Loves You, whatever. If whoever this fake Paul is, he's still a damn good like genius.
No, that's the thing. And I agree. And that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, it's not like they got this guy that didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
Which is another kind of hard part to believe is like, if you can get a guy as good as Paul, then what's the whole point of this conspiracy theory?
Well, the according to conspiracy theory on this documentary, oh my God, we're fucking going into it.
Doesn't matter. That's the point.
It was talking about how, like they found this guy, he won like the Paul McCartney lookalike. They did a little bit of like cosmetics on him.
Which God knows how bad that was back in the 60s.
And in the 60s, yeah. And then they're saying how
that's like CIA level, like masking. You know what I mean? Like how
it's fucking face off.
It's too much
at this point. But they're saying how like they taught him how to play left-handed, how to talk like him,
Oh,
how to sing with him, and I'm like, okay, sure the guy could, and like supposedly the guy loved to play the part of being Paul, so he was that's is why like Paul was so open about like doing drugs and dropping acid and like smoking weed and shit in the 60s and the 70s and then over into the 80s. But I'm like, okay, if you taught him, like I don't think he would have been that successful. Like, yeah, sure, he might have had the ideas, but how successful would he have been if he was mostly focused on living the glam life rather than practicing and practice?
well, I mean, but here's the thing: how many Paul songs did he have to learn? He, this guy died relatively early, and
Yeah,
like
according to the theory,
most of their weird shit was put
became
out
after.
like yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he wasn't really. I mean, the only time he plays Paul is when he covers those old songs or covered those old songs,
Yeah,
and if you think about it, the Beatles stopped touring in like the 70s, and
right
then
after
broke
Sergeant
up.
Pepper.
So, dude, like realistically, it was maybe a 5 year thing, which doesn't sound as crazy when you kind of think about it, but it's still, I mean, it is nuts. But here's my thing that kind of fucks with me
Yeah,
is believing all this happening is not crazy so much as the one thing that's crazy to me is that these guys all grew up together,
Mhm.
and let's just say their friend just died in a tragic way because they said it was a car accident or something.
Car accident, like his head fucking
Yeah.
got severe tore off
So
or something.
your friend just died in a catastrophic car accident, right?
Yeah,
And you're gonna train a random stranger to act like your friend and then pretend he's your friend in front of all these people, including your family and all these other people and you're but basically what I'm saying is the band are a bunch of sociopaths if they pulled this off because you had to pretend like your friend wasn't dead, then you had to pretend this new stranger was your friend after he just died.
childhood. Yeah,
That's kind of crazy. Like that's a level of psycho that I don't know
and
if we're aware of
and you have to teach him his mannerism, the inside
while you're
jokes.
like grieving.
Yeah,
You're crying and you're like, he used to like M&Ms.
it's the blue, the yellow ones were his favorite.
No, no, don't take those. Those are his.
Yeah,
That's his chair. You sit over there now. God, that'd be weird.
yeah, like that's very detailed.
That's
Like,
that's that's a big flaw. I feel like you said about training them, like that's the part where I'm like, all right, yeah, that's when it gets a little dumb. Like if the conspiracy theorists shouldn't have gone on that one.
listen, regardless, real Paul or fake Paul, he wrote "Band on the Run," and that's a masterpiece.
That is a masterpiece. I will agree with that. It's probably, it's a good one too by Wings. A lot of good songs by Wings. Jet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, Jet.
Jet and Band on the Run are probably his two best songs for Wings.
Fuck, dude, I got goosebumps thinking
Oh,
about Jet, dude.
Jet's a good one. And then you got okay, no, you got like three because then you got Live and Let
Live and Let
Die.
Die.
You
Yeah.
can't go wrong
So
with
live
that.
and let die. Boom, boom. Baby, I'm amazed in the way
Oh,
you
maybe I'm
do.
amazed. That's
Fuck,
true
dude.
too. That's what I'm saying. Wings is good, dude.
It's just another day. So yeah. Now I'm gonna like
See,
bust
dude,
out.
like it's true though. Every single hit. I mean, maybe they had a couple, two or three
That's
records, but
yeah.
like, dude, Wings is solid.
Oh yeah. And I mean, if you think about it,
Can you hear my kids screaming?
George Harrison's album was like okay. Um, it's how you
Yeah, I
get.
mean, it wasn't. I mean, it's kind of tough, dude, when you're the voice of the Beatles to outdo this. But I will say, yeah, he's the only exception. You're right. But I think George had the strongest solo minus Paul, which
Yeah.
isn't saying a whole lot. Because John
No,
didn't
but
do shit, and then Ringo was cool, but Ringo just does jams with other people mostly.
Ringo's just like, hey, this is my buddies. I know my role,
Yeah.
and
But
that's good.
But he does it with other people too. I saw Ringo live, and that's exactly what he does. Well, I mean, that's what the name of the show is. It's Ringo Starr's All Star Band, but it's
Yeah.
cool because he always gets like these pros from like other bands, and they
Yeah,
jam and
he's
they play their
fucking
songs.
jamming with like freaking what's his name, Joe Walsh, and like
Yeah, some of them
fuck,
the guy from Toto was there. That was
Dude,
cool. That dude
that guy's an
shreds.
I didn't realize how like amazing that guy is when it comes to like producing. Like he produced like
Producing,
Michael
guitar.
Jackson's. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's insane when you learn, and I love doing that. I like unwrapping the knowledge of music. Like when I learn about bands that found other bands or produced bands' first records, and you're like, oh, I
Yeah.
listened to that other band too. That's cool.
And it's always great when it's like the unexpected. Oh, there's a bug.
Yeah, exactly. When it's some kind of like a hidden. Oh yeah, I see that fucker.
Yeah.
Um,
All right. When it's always like unexpected because like no one expects like fucking the dude from Toto writing, all these Michael Jackson like melodies and shit, or
yeah,
like working with Michael Jackson or
or
like
just kind of. Well, I guess I shouldn't say not being a shredder because if you listen to that Rosanna song, even if you're not a huge fan,
yeah,
the guitar work is just the guy just wails.
he's good.
He is good.
Take me all the way.
Dude,
Rosanna.
I know that's. I got more of a. I became more of a fan of Toto. Well, Africa, I got burned out on Africa.
Yeah, it's a
Thanks
great
to
song.
thanks to
But
Weezer.
yeah.
It's not all their fault, but they helped a lot of that. I was like, oh.
No, I think my favorite Toto song has to be Hold the
Yeah,
Line.
the
Doom,
guitar's
doom,
hella
doom.
like shreddy on that one.
Love is always on time. No, no, no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a jam, dude. I love
Yeah.
that.
But not as much of a jam that Bad on the Run or Jet is.
No, I'm not gonna argue that. But that's
It's
what
up
I
there
mean,
though.
dude. I think I'm a bigger Wings fan, which is gonna sound crazy to people, than a Beatles fan. But I grew up in a different generation.
Yeah. Also depends like what your parents exposed to you.
That's true. And my parents weren't the biggest. I was exposed to it, but neither of them were the biggest Beatles fans either.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But my dad's musical taste changed a lot. It was weird.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I was a kid, it was very classic rock, and now it's like very like 50s, and I'm like, geez, all right.
God, he's just going way behind.
I'm like, all right, well, maybe he's going back to his A-Day, huh?
Hey, talking
Like
about
the
classic
Sandlot.
rock, dude.
Hmm.
I can't listen to 98.5.
No?
That's the local classic rock radio station.
Why?
Here in the Bay Area. They played all my songs from high school, bro.
No, you're right, dude. It's weird. It's almost like Live 105 in a way.
It's
or
like
more like a KSJO kind of.
yeah, no, it really is. It's like my radio station now because like they're out there playing. They're playing that they're playing Green Day yesterday, but it wasn't anything from Dookie or anything. They were playing
Oh, like American Idiot. Shit.
no, they're playing Nice Guys Finish Last When You Run Out of Gas from their album Nimrod.
Oh wow, yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Like they play like Offspring from '98, and
Yeah.
you're like, all right, I guess I'm old now.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, if you think about it, that's like 20 years.
It's classic, but see, that's why classic isn't a good term because it just refers to like time. It doesn't refer to like the actual sound, and like classic rock needs to be like, I don't know. We need to like coin these genres better.
I feel for me, classic rock, is definitely like mid 60s to like 79. I feel like that's classic rock. When I think of classic rock, I think of like Boston.
But you got to go like
CPR.
if you're gonna do that, you almost got to go late '80s because Boston and all those bands were still doing shit well into the '80s.
Yeah, but when I think of 80s, I think of like the glam metal.
But that's not even. Like, but that's not everything because then you got new wave. You got you got even punk. There's so many genres in the '80s too.
Yeah, we just need to stop calling it, classic rock and just call it.
But I agree. Once '90s hit, because look, even super groups of the '80s were kind of over by the '90s because grunge took over. Metal was coming back in hard. All the heavy shit was coming back, and then the 2000s happened, and it was really heavy and really not heavy. Music was very strange.
I mean, you call Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Nirvana grunge. So you're gonna once because like they hit that was the X amount of years. Now they're classic rock. I'm like, no, that's still grunge.
No, yeah, I agree with that because it's just everything over 10 years old then is classic rock. You're like, oh, well, that's fun.
Fuck, dude,
Real challenging.
Don't tell me that.
No, I know that's not true. Maybe 15.
I think it's like, I think it is 15, like the actual term. But dude, like, fuck, dude, imagine like that kill switch engage, fucking.
Oh, dude, that's
Uh,
classic rock.
that's classic rock now.
That's old man music, dude.
Hey, wait a minute,
Oh,
Coop, is that a Set Fire to the Sky shirt you're wearing?
it is actually. I wanted to wear it because they had a show last night.
Oh, and they played it, and they made a reference to that shirt actually, because they have a song about Freddy Krueger.
Dream Warriors
Yeah,
or
Dream
Dream
Warriors.
Warrior. I think it's just Dream
Yeah,
Warrior.
yeah. I saw him yesterday play. Actually, I went to a show.
Oh, nice. That was a good work in.
Yeah.
What,
Um.
how was the show? Because actually, I wished Anthony good luck, but I didn't.
Yeah. Actually, dude, it's funny. Anthony's one of the singers for Set Fire to the Sky.
Mhm.
Metalcore or more metal?
I don't
They're
know.
definitely
I
metal.
would
I
say
don't know.
metalcore because it's pretty breakdowny.
It's very breakdowny.
Yeah, I would definitely say
Um.
metalcore. Yeah, definitely. They sound metalcore.
Um, and you can just tell. I saw Anthony. I haven't seen Anthony in like forever. Saw Johnny. Saw Jacqueline. I haven't seen them in like forever.
Mm-hmm.
And so see Anthony, said what's up, and he's setting up, and I'm like, "What's up, dude?" And you can just tell this dude was like nervous.
Yeah.
I saw him in the bathroom. I was like, "Dude, I'm fucking nervous." I'm like, "Well, it's not like it's the first time you fucking played in front of people."
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but you know, I'm not playing guitar. I'm just singing. So he
Mm-hmm.
was. You can tell he was nervous. And like a minute or two before they like started their set, I go up to him, give him a hug, give him a little kiss on the cheek. I'm like, "Hey, you got this, Papi. I'm like, you got this. Don't even trip."
Yeah.
And then more. And if you fuck up, who cares? No one's gonna know. And after that, like, I'm not saying I helped him out, but like after like 2 or 3 songs into their set, you can feel like they were losing up, and
Yeah.
it was a good freaking set, dude. There's just like great musicians all around that band.
I know. I wanted to check it out, but as you know, getting around is an issue for me sometimes.
Yeah. But they were good, and I think the headliner you would have loved the sound of that band.
Oh yeah.
They're called Way Too Stone.
Oh, so they were kind of a stoner band.
No, they were like very like it had essence of like 90s trash metal, like Death and like
Mm.
Cannibal Corpse and stuff like
Oh,
that.
oh, so they were just kind of like heavy, but super like old, kind of old school.
Yeah, like super old school sounding. It
Mm.
also reminded me of a lot like of Brujeria. You're aware of Brujeria, right?
Yeah, or like maybe like Sepultura kind of shit.
Sepultura, yeah, like
Yeah.
that kind of like metal. And I'm like, I'm listening to this. I'm like, fuck, Cooper will love this band right now.
Yeah, dude, that sounds sick.
Like a lot of Pantera influence in
Yeah,
there also.
yeah, that's my go. I love that shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I'm
So
gonna try and go to one of their next shows though. I want. I gotta try and do that. It's just,
yeah,
going to shows before I had kids was easier, but
yeah.
I'll plan it out. And then I'm actually going to that. I know I said I was going to Dashboard in October. I think it's October.
Yeah.
But I'm also in November. Excuse me. I'm going to the Testament and Exodus show at the Fox Theater, so that should be awesome.
Nice.
I know, dude. I'm like, sweet. I'm like, I was pumped for Dashboard, but I'm mostly going for Steph.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna be like I'm not gonna be like a grump, a curmudgeon. I'm gonna have fun, but
Yeah.
like I'm more in my element at the metal show, so
No,
I'm really
no,
excited for
absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. And like I love Dashboard, but like I feel like I'm more in my element when I go to like a punk or like a
A little more,
screamo
a little
or
more energy.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
And I
got
love
you.
Dashboard.
No, I
Don't get
hear
me
you.
wrong, I fucking love Dashboard. But yeah. But it's a great show, dude. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a bunch of videos going up. And another again, dude, I gotta give it up to like the Bay Area local scene, dude. Like it was
Full
crazy
effect,
packed,
huh?
dude. 100%. Like um, I was expecting again, I guess, because we're stuck with the old school mentality of like, oh, only 20 people are gonna show up or whatever. This place had like 100 plus, freaking packed at the Evergreen Pub. So you know, like the place is like super like condensed. A great turnout for all the bands, dude, and people seem to love it. So I'm hell yeah, I'm excited, especially seeing like your buddies perform.
Dude.
Like, yeah, it's my friend, and they're like drawing in this people and all this shit. I'm like, this is fucking fantastic.
Dude, I mean, John, me, Anthony, Evan, and a few other people, we used to like learn from guitar from John. So
Yeah,
I was one of his, oh, I'm not going to say like
his protege.
apprentices or anything.
Yeah,
Definitely not protege. Um, but like, yeah, I played with him for a couple, like a good year or two. I mean, I still have his half stack, his first ever half stack. So, I mean,
yeah,
we used to hang out a lot, So like you said, it's cool to see your friends that were doing it then, still doing it. It's inspiring.
yeah,
It's not like I'm like, oh wow, they're still doing it. It's not like that, but it's just like, oh, you know what? They're still kicking ass and doing this shit, and it sounds killer, but it makes you feel like, you know what? Stop making excuses, stop daydreaming, and just start doing this shit because
just do it.
you just got to do it.
Yeah,
Stop crying that you can't. Just try it. Because we can, man. This is like the time. This is the time when you're all, especially when you're all anxious, you're all pent up about things. This is the
yeah.
time to get your yah-yahs out.
And I mean, I was seeing the documentary on Amazon about the it's called Surviving the Police, and it's like the guitar player how like his experience while being
Oh,
with
Andy
the police.
Summers. Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, they didn't get started, the band didn't get started until they were all like in their mid 30s.
Yeah.
And they went on to be like super successful and shit. And same thing, and they were getting so much shit because like they started off as like a punk band, but they had no cred, So they're like, oh, they're just fucking posers, not even punk. But
Right.
like they went on to be like one of the biggest bands in the world and still are one of the biggest bands in the world.
Random
So,
fun fact.
yeah, so
I think
that's
Sting.
very inspiring. Like, yeah, this guy was like, he felt like he was a freaking failed musician, but there he is. He got this opportunity in his 30s, and it went on to be successful.
To somewhat ruin your point, Andy Summers also feels that way because Sting is a huge egomaniac and
He
probably
is,
killed his spirit.
yeah,
Because Sting has also tried to legally find ways to get Andy Summers out of getting any royalties and shit. So I don't know.
yeah,
Anyway, I love the Police.
yeah.
Totally agree. Sting is a piece of shit, dude. But
It's
I was gonna
he's been given up to Sting
musical
because he's been
genius.
like that. He's been like that since the late
No, you're right.
70s,
No,
early
I
80s.
think he's been like that since forever.
Yeah,
It's just how long can you play with a guy like that? But I was gonna say a fun fact about the Police is Synchronicity 2, basically their most successful studio record. They
yeah,
were recording it and hated each other. Like they almost broke up 3 times recording that record. They toured that record for a year and then they broke up.
yeah.
But it's just, dude, they hated each other making the record. They hated each other playing the record. God, that must have been a really. But dude, their live footage from those years is amazing, and
Yeah.
it's just like, dude, the amount of ego that has to go into like a 3-piece that's that good. It's like, yeah, you kind of get like the chaos, you
And
know.
I think they were trying to like outplay each other or like outshine each other.
I think
So I
so.
think that's why.
I think so too, and I also think the issue was mostly direction musically, and I think Sting wanted to go a certain way because if you
Mhm.
notice the tone his solo career was, like the
Yeah.
music was kind of merging into his solo sound, and I
Yeah.
think Stuart Copeland and the guitarist Andy Summers were
And
like,
Summers.
I don't know if we want to do this kind of music, man.
Yeah.
So I think it was kind of a mutual. Plus, they hated each other's guts, so I think they were. But like you
I
said, Andy Summers is definitely the black sheep of the Police.
yeah. I think it was they from the outside perspective it didn't make any sense. Like here you are, you just had like the most successful tour, you're like on top of the
Uh
world
huh.
and you're calling it quits now.
Yeah.
And now they're like, okay, well we can see why you're calling it quits.
Yeah,
You
they
can
were exhausted, with each
yeah.
other, which probably the tour schedule they've been touring. I mean, they were touring probably in the late 60s.
Yeah.
So I mean, they've been a band for a while and like you said, they're pretty successful. Not very long were they like playing where they weren't known. I mean, they kind of did shoot up pretty quick from what I
Yeah.
remember.
They got huge, really, worldwide. And yeah, it was just like what helped them out. Also, is like MTV launched like around
Yeah.
that time, and they were like, okay, they were like one of those success stories from like MTV, as MTV was coming, they were also getting exposure, and it was just it was a good merger.
Dude, I love the police, but
I recommend that documentary for my listeners. If you have Amazon Prime Video, it's called Surviving the Police. It's like an hour and a half. It's really, really short, but really, really good.
that's awesome because I also have a documentary from the drummer,
Really?
Stuart
I would
Copeland.
love to
Yeah,
check that.
and I only have it on DVD. I know,
Okay.
and that sucks. But what I could do is I can rip it and then share it with you because if I can find it, let me grab it real quick. It's gonna be
Yeah.
some dead air, so do a little tap dance or something.
Well, you're not listening to this. You'll listen to this after post production, but you're looking to your left, and that's because that's where you have all your DVDs and stuff. I noticed that when we went to the studio
Here we go.
or when we did live on studio. But you're coming back now. I think you found the DVD. No, he just broke his shelf. You heard it. Um, there he is.
Hopefully, I didn't interrupt anything. I'm sorry.
No, I stopped.
Bruce Willis fell, so I had to pick him up.
Oh, that's what it was. Is that from Pulp Fiction?
It is.
Nice.
Look at the detail. Look, they even look even in his dirty shoes.
I know. Down to the dime. Look at that.
Zed's dead, baby. All right. So it's cool because it was also all filmed by the drummer. It's called Everyone Stares, The Police Inside Out. A
Nice.
Stuart Copeland film, which he actually has directed movies. So it's what's cool, unlike the one you're talking about, which is really good for explaining like tensions and all that stuff probably during that time. This would be interesting too because this is going to be like raw footage of them just jamming out.
Well, the surviving the police is I mean, it focuses more on Andy Summers, like him, like his backstory and how he joined, and you know how it was for him while being the police. And now I think it ends with them playing like LA, or they're playing like they're going around the world tour, but it was like 2007, 2008.
Oh, when they reunited, right? That's a big deal.
And even then you can feel there's some tension in there, dude.
And that was 30 plus years without playing together. But you know what? Here's the thing. You don't play together, but they're sending their lawyers mail. They're fighting about things still. And I've heard that's what it's been. It's been licensing battles between estates and shit. So you're not seeing a guy, but you're getting angry about him, and you know these bad feelings aren't getting fixed. So yeah, I bet that must have been an awkward powwow right before that tour.
Well, you know they have fucking like lawyers.
Well, I'm sure
people media,
but still they had to meet up at least once to rehearse.
Yeah,
you know, at least
several times.
You know, at least, and it's like God, that must have been kind of a weird. You know, like I'm sure it got better.
Yeah.
But it was like that first 10 minutes probably could have cut the tension with a knife.
Yeah.
I'm going to check that one out, though, dude, because I love hearing and seeing perspectives on things we don't know. And it's pretty cool educationally, and it's enlightening. But definitely kind of goes into our subject this week, which is anxiety.
We all have an experience with that.
We all have it. Some of us have more than one. No, I'm just kidding. No, we're talking about anxiety, not body parts. But yeah, I could dive in. I definitely have anxiety. I feel like my strongest issue is my mood changes drastically, and that can like affect my whole day. Like something that might not be such a big deal gives me like some weird anxiety, and I'm reacting to it like subconsciously, but not really, because I'm like, okay, I'm aware. I'm not actively saying be in a bitchy mood all day or something, but I'm like, fuck, I'm recognizing it, you know? And it sucks because I'm either like, I'm like, part of my anxiety is I'm always trying to be like prepared for stuff, right? That's my main thing. But then my other thing is like letting little things ruin things. Like letting my anxiety control my tone for the whole day, which definitely is a problem of mine.
Yeah. No, I mean, I definitely when I get my anxiety attacks or when I feel my anxiety coming in, like I recognize it because I'm just not at ease. It's
Yeah.
just like you know, I it's just like in the back of my head. I'm nervous. I'm like on the edge. It's like adrenaline is pumping, but you don't know what you're pumping your adrenaline for.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, dude, like it completely sets the mood for the whole day. Um, when I get my anxiety attacks, especially like in the morning, like the whole day, I'm just like, it's such a fucking drag,
Yeah.
such a drag, and it really makes you sick. It makes you sick to your stomach. It makes it. You're just looking for anything to release that whatever, release the anxiety on somebody, or you're looking for anything that validates how you're feeling or what you're
Mm-hmm.
thinking about yourself. And it's like a constant battle, dude. And yeah, it just sucks. And I mean, I recognize I recognize it. At the time, you can't really. I think at the time it's really hard to acknowledge what's going on because they're just so blinded by the emotions. So
Mm-hmm.
you'll know what's going on. You need literally need like a minute or two to kind of reflect and be like, okay, I'm just tripping. This is not me. This is something. This is my subconscious, talking to me and like trying to ruin my day.
Right.
Um, yeah, dude. But I mean, it sucks. I definitely know when I'm freaking about to throw up and like I feel sick. I'm like, okay, this is not me. This is something else. Um, and
Yeah,
I and
dude.
I and I sometimes I need to freaking like say that over and over. Like this is not me. I need to. It's not me. This is something else. This is something else. And in a way, that kind of leads to control it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it downsizes it to its real size because when we have anxiety, it amplifies emotions and it gives us this illusion that it's this grand problem, and it really isn't.
Yeah.
It's really not something we can't manage. It's something very manageable, but we tell ourselves it's unmanageable.
Yeah.
I feel like it's almost like we subconsciously want a reason to react. I mean, I don't think we're doing it on purpose. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like subconscious. Something weird in all of us, clearly that we're just like anxiety is like a good thing, but we're so fucking like spoiled and when I say spoiled, I mean all of Western, like all of society nowadays
Yeah.
compared to what like a caveman or a person that lives off the land is dealing with. Like, these instincts we have don't seem to make sense because we don't really need them almost. Like we're like archaic creatures, dude, that have all these like technology and all this shit at our fingertips that handicaps a lot of what we need to discipline in ourselves.
Yeah.
And we rely so much on all this other shit to the point where we're like, I don't know anything about me. And in
Mm-hmm.
50 years, people are going to be these blank slates that have no idea what they are, who they are, what they should do because they haven't done anything for themselves. Like, I think society needs to get back to being a little more primitive in that sense of being in touch with who you are and who yourself and how you feel. It's
Yeah.
silly that it's like, God, there's got to be an app for me to make or a pill to make me feel better.
It's that instant gratification
Yeah.
that we thrive for.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one thing I've noticed in myself. And I'm sure there's a handful of people who feels this, but we want the quickest and fastest thing. About Jesus Christ, this freaking bug.
Dewey.
Yeah. Oh, Dewey.
Yeah, my bad.
I'm gonna attack this asshole.
Yeah. Let's think about that.
No, but like, there's a reason why. Like, what was that video? The 7 minutes ab or something. Like, there's a
Oh
reason
yeah,
why.
like 6 minute abs, and then they kept
Yeah,
trying to outdo it.
yeah. Like, there's a reason why. Or like, oh, I want the quickest results with the less effort fastest results, and everybody wants that. Myself. I want like the whatever most convenience, whatever most faster. I want everything to be instant. I want to be rewarded for my efforts right away. And
Right.
sometimes I have to like sit back and realize, no, it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
Everything takes time, and that's something that I always had a problem with, like being patient, taking time, and acknowledging that everything takes time. You know, um, Sometimes it takes longer than you will expect it to take, but you know what? Everything takes time, and yeah, you just gotta be more patient.
Yeah. And to compare it to life on another aspect, which no one asked for, but we're going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
It's much like taking a dump, Like it takes time. You can rush through it and force your intestines out of your asshole and get a hemorrhoid, or you could just sit there, maybe catch up on another episode of Tales from the Head, nice subtle shameless plug, or,
Yeah.
read a book. But no, like just without bullshitting, you gotta. There's a like what I said earlier about the labor of love. Part of that labor of
Yeah.
love is time
Yeah.
invested. And yeah, it feels cool like to get shit right away, but you know how it feels when you work at something and you watch it grow, and especially with like kids, you're like your students. Like, how lame would it be if you're just like, you meet them one day and the next day they're done, they graduated, they're all done. It's like, dude, yeah, I mean, cool, your job is finished, but there's no joy, there's no glory, and you didn't watch anything happen. You missed all the
Yeah.
good part, and there you go. That's the nugget of truth. Is we're chasing the end game, but the good part is the journey. And I think
Yeah.
there's been countless people that have said that is, you go your whole life fantasizing about the finish line, but the main thing, once you cross that finish line, you're thinking about the race. So it doesn't. It's either a catch-22 with the human condition where we're never satisfied, or it's that is the truth where what we're doing right now is what we should be most happy about in our lives.
Well, it's like that movie Click. Like that was the whole point of Click. If you think about it, like
Yeah.
Adam Sandler's character didn't want to wait for like didn't want to deal with the day-to-day shit. He just wanted to get at the finish line,
Mm-hmm.
and by doing that, he kind of missed out on so many things.
Yeah, and then I mean his dad died. R.I.P. Henry Winkler.
Yep.
Dude, I've only seen that movie like maybe once, and it made me sad.
No, it definitely is a downer.
And Christopher Walken works at Bed Bath & Beyond, but not really.
Yeah. He's just there. He works in the Beyond
section. Dude, you know what that movie is? I just thought about it. It's like the Page Master for like our generation, but not like with the cartoon aspect, but with the silly aspect of like how, remember the movie with Macaulay Culkin, The Page Master?
Bro, I've seen that movie like when I was like 8 or 9.
But you know the whole point where he goes in like it's like a weird library that becomes this fantasy. So it's like, yeah, it's funny that like Christopher Walken made Bed Bath & Beyond like cool. Oh, they don't just sell foot massagers.
They also sell batteries in the Beyond section.
And remotes that make your life change.
Yeah.
Fun theory about that whole movie that could screw it all up is that there could only be one of those remotes. You know how fucked up and funny it would be if they were like a mass produced of like time changing?
Maybe not one, but can we have like
the whole
maybe 20?
Well, dude, you know how fucked people would ruin everything. We'd have
per city.
Huh?
Like 20 of those per city or
dude,
something.
Jesus Christ. People don't even know how to take care of their fake Tamagotchis and shit, dude. What the hell's a fake Tamagotchi? Aren't Tamagotchis fake already? And what is a Tamagotchi? How old am I?
No, I think they're coming back again. They're hot again.
Don't stick up for my outdated reference.
No, they are
really
coming back up. Yeah, they're like hot again. The Tamagotchi and all these
and the nanos.
The animal, the digital pets.
I want to take care of a fake pixelated animal. I did it.
I forgot. I forgot to feed my Tamagotchi. Now he's dead.
Now I gotta push the reset button with a screwdriver.
And reset the whole
Remember?
game.
You had the reset button?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I had one. Okay, I am outing myself. I didn't let it die. All you had to do was push buttons. How do you let that thing die?
Because you forget.
How bad is that? Like, we come from a generation where we love button mashing, and we forgot to push a button. I don't buy it.
Because we forget, man.
No, kids are
We're
insane.
busy.
Kids will be playing that game while they're sleeping. Kids are crazy. But, yeah, I guess they'll bring it back. They're going to have even weirder stuff because that's not even that.
Yeah.
That's so old school. Wow. But we had Game Boys. We were kind of part of the change, too, I guess. So
we were the wave.
Yeah.
We were the wave.
We were the wave. Now we're riding the wave. Big Kahuna style.
I'm walking the board, bro. I'm walking the board.
Dude, I wish. So with my anxiety, the only way I really control it, like kind of like what you said, the way I blow it off is literally acknowledging it out loud, like to Steph. Because like I'll notice like if I'm getting annoyed, I'll be like, I'm just getting bitched out. Like it's all good.
Yeah.
And it helps because it lets her know I'm being like emotionally whatever. And then it lets me know like to get over it.
Yeah.
Because I made it public. I made it publicly known that I'm messing up. So it's kind of like accountability, kind of like what you were saying. You're like, now I have to do better because I've made it known that I don't want to do this. Yeah.
It's like you released it, so it's no longer consuming you. Put it out in the world.
There you go. I like that.
Yeah. And I think that's 100% true. We're gonna talk about this in a bit, but I feel like that's one thing that really, really helps everybody, or like with any sort of emotion. It's just like talking about it rather than trying to suppress it. Just talk, let it go, talk it loud, journal it, whatever, to really, really help you, like
vent, kind of. Right?
Yeah, and in a way, it's very like empowering. You control it; it doesn't control you anymore. You let it out. You no longer like have it.
Yeah, it's not consuming you.
Yeah, exactly. That's the word. And I think that's a big step, and a lot of people don't like doing that or are too afraid to do that for fear of being judged.
Oh, definitely. I think it's definitely fear of being judged, and I also think it's just I want to say laziness, but I know that's not 100% right. It's part of it, but it's fear. It's definitely fear of being judged, and then I also think it's just kind of like maybe fear of change, like is part of why people have the insanity approach to anxiety, right? Mm-hmm. It's like maybe one day it won't be here, or maybe one day it'll just go away. Kind of going along with that whole instant gratification thing. It's like part of instant gratification, I feel like, is those people that don't do anything hoping it'll just disappear.
Magically, yeah.
Yeah, like, maybe one day it'll just go away. It's like, oh, well, that's fun. That's the same mentality of the people that want to win the lottery and don't buy lottery tickets. It's not going to happen.
No.
You're not going to win. And you know what? You're almost not going to win when you buy them either. But don't let me ruin your fantasy.
You keep on trying.
Yeah, your Mega Millions. Yeah, good luck. Sometimes I buy tickets, though. I know it's bullshit, but I also know that you never know. So.
Yeah. No, I sometimes buy tickets, too, when it's like high up there, or just randomly.
Or that, too, yeah, because like even if you win like 70 million, I mean, that's plenty.
Even if I get 7 million.
Oh, that's dude. That's more than we've ever seen.
That's definitely going to help a lot. I'm not going to say, I'm not going to be here and be like, it's going to change my world.
And take the lump sum and have them tax the shit out of it.
Yeah.
You got to do it that way. The other way's a scam.
$3 million, that's fine. Whatever.
Exactly, because, dude, the other way's a scam. Because I heard you can't, if you do the payment thing, which is like their tax-free option.
Yeah.
I heard once you're dead, the state gets the money.
You can transfer it to...
I don't think so. You would think it would be next to kin. But I think the state lottery can do whatever the hell they want. That's why I'm like, tax me now, take 40%, you sons of bitches. It's fine.
take the sum, which is never like 70,000 or whatever, or 70 million. Like if the law is 7 million, 70 million, you're gonna get what, 40,
Yeah, you'll get like 40,
and then you're gonna freaking
45.
text, and then you're gonna get text the shit out of that.
No. That is the tax.
Okay.
They would take like 40%. You better not pay on top of that. But yeah, dude. No, and I don't know if it's 40%. I think it's a good chunk though.
It is.
It's a sizable chunk. But yeah, and don't treat anxiety like the lottery. You know, we can manage things a little easier than winning the lottery. But we do have some options. We got our Tails top tips for dealing with anxiety this week.
Yes.
Me and Danny put together a couple of our own here, and we do have some in common. So we are going to just start going down. I didn't do mine in any list of importance, really.
Yeah, neither did I.
So
I just wrote like 10 things. Nothing like, oh, this is the number one. No, it's just like, I think for like depending on the situation, I tend to leverage like to go towards one rather than the other one. But it's not like this is the top 10. This is what I do. Step one. Step, no, they're all important.
We just did a bunch. You got to do a number, and we chose a little number. But yeah, like he said, it's not a top 10. It's just us coming together as individuals and just, kind of seeing where we are.
And I think also for our listeners, one thing I want you guys to remember is like, this is not necessarily, we're not fucking trained professionals at all. We're not fucking, we don't got the degrees in this shit. This is what works for us. If it works for you, cool. If not, hey, it's okay. It's just an extra tool that we're giving you guys. So it's not like this is the only thing that works and this is it. No, this is what works for us.
Yeah.
But you're not us.
Yep. But with nearly a year under our belt, we may not be trained, but we are professionals.
Unfortunately, we are.
That's true.
That we are.
So I'm going to start. I think I'm just going to go, and then I'll just touch briefly.
All right.
Not like I'm on the stand, but I think I'd throw one out. We want to go one-on-one?
Nah, let's just go with the 10.
Go with 10. It all and just knock it out?
Yeah.
Because otherwise we're going to get lost. I agree with that. Okay.
What number is this? Yeah.
What? All right, so going with number one for me, I chose play guitar. One, it's enjoyable because you're playing an instrument and it sounds beautiful. And if it doesn't, practice. But it's a good way to escape, and you can focus your energy and anything you got going on in your head towards something simple, like an instrument that just you press your fingers and you make sounds. So focusing on that rather than killing something yourself or, being sad or anxious or nervous. It's a good way to also kind of, it's almost meditation, so that's playing guitar. Music is always good. Next, I got play Tony Hawk Pro Skater. This does not work for every video game. You pretty much can only play this game to release anxiety, especially if you got your special meter all the way up and you just hit a mean line on that ramp, dude. But no, it goes for any video game. For me, it was Tony Hawk because it was also nostalgia when I was younger. So it was a double whammy for me. I was like, oh, cool, I can play video games and relive my childhood. So that was a nice way to get rid of some anxiety. Excuse me, I got a cough. Turn my head and cough. Next is address the anxiety and manage it. This was big for me too because I really wanted to, like we mentioned before, addressing the issue and moving forward. That goes with everything in life, but especially anxiety. It becomes this gray cloud that can just float over us all day long because of how we view things on TV and how anxiety is a normal part of life. It is, but managing anxiety should also be a normal part of life. Number 4, drink chamomile tea. It's nice because it is somewhat of a downer, not in a sense of like weed or heroin, but it definitely calms you. I like a hot tea, especially in the morning or at night, because it's just a nice soothing. It's almost like meditation in a cup. I love my coffee, but tea gives you a different vibe. It's beautiful. This also pairs well with the tea, but not necessary for everyone. Smoke a joint or four. I recommend rolling them yourself. Pre-rolls at a dispensary are not the best. It's either not the greatest weed, and they roll them too tight. Let's be honest, people. All my smokers know what I'm saying. Number 6, go for a walk or a hike daily if you can, because fresh air is huge. I know if you live in California, you're like, what is fresh air? Well, if you go out to the mountains, you can get some of that, or the coast. Otherwise, yeah, we're dealing with smog. But either way, get out there, breathe in some smog. Hikes are good, huh?
I was gonna say, even if you live like in the smog infested cities, like there's still some open air space
Oh, I
places
mean,
to
yeah,
go.
it's breathing conditions aren't that bad anywhere here.
Yeah.
You know, people want to say shit. Stop. We're not working in a coal mine, like you just said,
No.
Danny. Like, there's a place. Go to a park, and that's kind of the point of the hike part. Is
Yeah.
maybe you don't want to go for a walk around the neighborhood. Drive to Alum Rock Park. Drive to Coyote Hills and Union City or Mission Peak,
Yeah.
Mount
That's a good thing.
Tam.
That's the good thing about living in California is that you can literally drive
30,
20-30 minutes any
30 to
direction
40,
and
yeah,
you will
30 to
hit.
40, yeah, for sure. But
And I'm
like you
sure
just
that's the
said, I was
case with
naming
any other
spots.
state.
You got Mount Tamalpais, which is out in Mill Valley. You got you got the Muir Woods, which is like kind of like off of like 13 and stuff over by like Berkeley
Yeah.
and Piedmont. I mean, there's so much, dude. We have such foresty areas that are so accessible to us. Like Felton, California is just like Santa Cruz. Like we got redwoods
Yeah.
right there, dude. Maybe 25, 30 minutes, no traffic from you.
Like huge fucking redwoods.
Yeah.
They're there. Like, and I'm pretty sure that's like the case with any other state.
Oh, dude, but
Like,
exactly. Unless you live in but even like Missouri, they have lakes out there, and yeah, they get
Yeah.
tornadoes and stuff. But like you said, every state has their amenity. Some I'm puzzled on, like Iowa. I guess they have
Yeah.
corn.
I don't know what they have.
Yeah,
out there.
we don't know. They got religion, boy.
I'm sure
I got
they-
Jesus. What else do you need?
They got Jesus. No, I'm pretty sure they got parks. They got Jesus.
And a whole lot of meth.
I'll tell you what you need for the top 10 in society. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus.
Yeah, and about 7 more Jesuses.
Woo.
Next, I got number 7. Rolling in at number 7. Listen to a favorite playlist or song.
Okay.
Now, I don't know about everyone else, but my psychotic ass will go on a binge of listening to the same song maybe a few times over and over, because it's either a musical thing where I am analyzing a specific part that I want to learn and then I geek out about it, or I'm literally just having like a breakdown moment where I'm going to listen to that song 50 times and I'm going to cry each time I listen to it.
Like, I need my sad music right now.
Either way, it's therapeutic, and I think it serves a purpose. To give you an example of a song that I've been obsessing about, I was obsessing about the lead guitar on the song Shaken by Eddie Money, because damn, that is a shredding ass guitar solo and just licks. So, but it was funny because I was like, oh my God, I was in the car and I rewound it like so many times. Luckily, I was by myself. But I was like, dude, that's such a sick part. I got to learn it. And then I go home to show Steph, and it just once again, like, she was like, oh yeah. But it was just like, no, dude, they just don't, like, I'm a music geek. They don't get it. Number 8, get into a sport and learn the rules / players. Now, you could do an actual sport, but what I meant by this, I guess, for me was observationally get into a sport, like on TV.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of ties into what we were talking about last week with hockey, and how we wanted to like get into sports. Or was that the week before? Probably the week before.
It was a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, never mind.
I'm not sure exactly when.
I was in a hyperbolic time chamber, so my time's all fucked up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that to give you an example of that working out for me, because you're like, well, you're just throwing out random shit. No,
Yeah.
number eight's an important one for me because although I didn't really learn more about football that 2019 year that my mom passed,
Mhm.
it served as a very therapeutic um, patch for me during that time because I was really able to get involved with the team, and luckily it was a good year for him.
Yeah.
Because if my mom would have gone in 2020, ooh,
Uh,
man, those Niners
Double
would not have
whammy.
helped me out. But yeah, thank you. Not that the Niners should help me out through a struggle, but thank you for the team being above 500 the year my mom passed away. It
They
helped me
did it for your
out.
mom. They did
Yeah,
it for
my
your
mom
mom.
loved Dwight Clark, but no, it really no, it did. It's nice to have something where it's like, oh, okay, cool, this is working out for this. Like when you're sad, you want success, to pull you out of that pit. So it was nice to have, to follow the stats and all this stuff week to week. It was great. Number nine. This is probably one of the most important ones on my list. Plan monthly hangouts or jams with friends.
Hmm.
I said jams because obviously you and me, we understand that terminology. Like we
Yeah.
love jamming out music with our buddies, but also like for those that don't, just get together. I mean, especially after last year, we've gotten in this habit. Everyone's a fucking introvert. We're all kind of getting into that habit of like not wanting to do stuff or not wanting to reach out to people. You are bored and depressed. So are your friends. Call them up, figure it out. If they don't want to meet at their house, you guys could always meet up at a park.
Yeah.
There's always something you can do. If you're scared to meet up with people, I can't help you with that. But there are precautions you could take. You can, if you're that crazy, you can have your friends submit a test to you, or wear your masks, whatever you want to do. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
judging you on the mask thing, but if you want to test, that is kind of nuts. But hey, we all got to do our thing. We got to keep our anxiety down, whether it's about COVID or ourselves. But the main thing is socially. Like human beings need socialization. There's a reason why prison is used for punishment. So don't put yourself in prison.
You need that social interaction.
Hmm. Totally. And it's a reminder that you're a human. Like we're real.
Yeah.
So kind of goes into number 10. My last tip for me is help others. Um, and to elaborate, it really helps when you see another perspective. So when you're helping someone that's going through anxiety, at that moment you're not dealing with that anxiety, even though you could have before, because you're not dealing with it at that time. You got this fresh take. You're kind of able to help coach them out of it. You're like, no, no, no. It seems worse. You're not really drowning. Just
Yeah.
just paddle, and you're gonna get out of it. And then what's cool about that is like any learning experience, you're teaching yourself too. You're like, okay, no wait, I just instilled that into someone else, so I need to follow that too. So maybe next time when I'm freaking out, I'm going to be a little more like, okay, take let's just take a breath and like analyze what's really going on here, and instead of reacting and freaking out, I need to just acknowledge it and take the next step. So,
Hmm.
helping others is probably one of the most important ones too. But yeah, that's my tip for dealing with anxiety that I put together. And you want to elaborate on some of yours, Dan?
Yeah, man. So the number one, the first thing I wrote down was walk with or without music only.
Mm-hmm.
Just listen to music. I like to do it without when there's no like lyrics or something, because it's just sound. So that's why I say with or without music. Um, Number two is breathing exercises. I do that a lot. Or like I can feel like I'm getting anxious, I'm getting nervous or sick or whatever. So I do this breathing exercise called a 5 times 3. So what it is you breathe in through your nose for 5 seconds, you hold it for 5 seconds, and then you release it through your mouth, or you exhale through your mouth for 5 seconds. And you just do that over and over until you kind of feel comfortable. Um, which leads to my number three thing I do whenever I feel like an anxiety is coming in, or to kind of lower down my anxiety a little bit, is meditate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which again two and three kind of go together, but like the breathing exercise, you can do it while like driving. You can do it while
Yeah.
like you know,
Yeah.
or like meditation. Like you're not gonna do. I'm not gonna go in there like close my eyes and start doing my breathing exercises and
You're in the
stuff like
carpool
that.
lane.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, and yeah, there's different ways of meditation. The ones I like to do, like I said, are the breathing exercise, and I also like doing this meditation where I light a candle. And
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of look at the fire and just
Mm.
kind of like doing the breathing. It just helps you focus on one thing. Um, number four is very similar also to the other two, which is mindful movement, which I think I've talked about in this podcast before, but very similar to like yoga, meditation. You kind of breathe, and as you're breathing, you're moving your body
Mm-hmm.
to the speed of your breathing exercise. Again, it's a great, makes you focus, concentrate on your body, kind of helps you also take your mind away from whatever it is that is giving you like a bad time. It's kind of just to recenter yourself. So two, three, and four definitely, they all go the same, but I did them separately because I feel like they can, depending on the situation, they can be moved to a certain thing. Where meditation, you're kind of just sitting there. Mindful movement is a way of meditation, but you're also moving, so it's kind of an exercise as well.
Right.
Number five, listen to music, which is something you kind of talked about. Listen to playlists and stuff. And again, laying in your bed, put your headphones on, listen to like when your playlist, or listen to some songs or whatever, or listen to music. As for me, I shouldn't say us, but for me, always helped out.
Mm-hmm.
Always again helps your mind, take away from whatever it is, even if it's in the background. It just kind of like helps you relax. Um,
Definitely.
Number six is going for a drive. It's kind of a
Mm.
meditation thing. Like again, it helps you focus. Listen to music. It makes you focus on the road rather than whatever it is that's consuming you. Um, Number seven, I went with the same thing. Drink the how you call that tea?
Chamomile?
Chamomile. Okay, because in Mexican, goddamn Mexican.
How do
In
you say it
Spanish,
in Mexican?
well, in C, whenever you see the C and H, I already want to go with the cha. So I don't know how I cannot pronounce it. My ESL last will not let me
That's okay.
pronounce that.
Just pretend
Um,
there's no H.
I can't. It gives me anxiety seeing it. But in Spanish, it's just called manzanilla, de manzanilla, which is
Hmm.
kind of like little apple.
Okay, I was just gonna say it sounds like manzanita,
Yeah.
which is what I know as apple. So
Um,
interesting.
Chamomile.
Why
How do you
is
say that?
that?
I don't know.
Isn't chamomile flower?
It is, but that's what they call it in Spanish.
Well, hey, can't
Um,
argue with Mexican.
yeah, you can argue with Mexican. I didn't create Mexican. I just speak it. So sometimes, but yeah, I really I discovered that tea a couple years back. Um, and just drinking tea, like
Mm-hmm.
non-caffeinated tea, is always great. Like I know they sell that chamomile. I can say it.
You just did it.
Did I?
Yeah.
Yes, I can
See?
talk.
Yeah.
They
Celebrate
sell
your
it with
wins.
like lavender also.
That would be
Um,
good.
so I like that one
Ooh,
also.
lavender's nice.
Yeah, they sell it already with the mixed lavender in there. Throw some honey up in that biatch also, just for the hell of it. But also our buddy Daryl turned me on to this. It's called like no stress tea or stress tea or
Mm-hmm.
something, which you drink it and it's like a mixture of different things, and it helps you kind of like release your stress. It calms you down
Yeah.
naturally. So I love that, and I've been getting more into teas, non-caffeinated teas in the past, year and a half after going therapy. Um for my number eight reason, which is cut coffee, You know, whenever I feel like I'm having like too much anxiety and it's like a daily habit, like I try to
Yeah.
cut coffee as much as possible, replace it with tea, drink more water, drink with juice or something because I feel like coffee or caffeinated drinks just really amplifies my emotions.
Mm.
And that's something my therapist is like always like, all right, you need to stop with the coffee. And I'm like, fuck.
You know what might help too
What?
is like maybe you don't necessarily have to stop the coffee. I mean, unless you want to. Obviously, I think everyone does whatever they want. But what I was thinking about too, and I was talking to Steph about this morning, was having coffee as your first drink of the day is not good because it's like caffeine and it's already a diuretic. So you're starting your day
Yeah.
off dehydrated. So, and I'm not saying that's the issue because caffeine's the issue with the anxiety with coffee. But maybe what some people can do too is maybe we just need to drink more water too. Maybe that's the issue. Because I know I
Yeah.
don't drink enough water. I definitely don't drink enough water.
Yeah. No, me too. And I know my doctors have told me that, the first thing I should do whenever I wake up is drink like a cup of coffee. You know
Yeah.
what? Let's do a
Or
little
drink of water. You know,
hydration sip.
hydration sip.
Sip.
I had to drink it like a pig. But I also read a thing too that if you're super tired,
Yeah.
chugging cold water in the morning will help wake you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also heard like drinking a cup or two of not cold water, but like room temperature water in the morning helps you like really kick up your body and your metabolism and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Well, because I
that's
know, the cold water's good because it's cold and that wakes you up. But like you
yeah,
said, I did hear that the best way to drink water is room temperature because it's the quickest way for your body to absorb it.
serve it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think and that makes sense because my routine when I'm making my coffee while it's being made, like I go and I take like a cup of water also, which is just to balance it out.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, definitely cut the coffee and yeah, I guess we should add this. I'm gonna make this the number 5 one for our list of similarities, but drink water.
Perfect. I
Um,
like that.
yeah, that's a great. I mean, I know it sounds fucking dumb and like so simple, but like, yeah, drink water.
Yeah. You're never in a good mood when you're hungry or dehydrated. So
That's true. That's
anxiety
true.
will probably also be amplified.
And just to wrap mine up, number 9 was talk or journal. Talk about
Mm.
your insight, what's causing you anxiety, what's causing you to feel that way. Journal it out, like you said, kind of release it. And then number 10, same thing like you said, address the anxiety and manage it. Like
Mm-hmm.
address what's going on, which I guess is the step number 9 where you talk and journal it, but also do it. You know, good at it. Like if you feel like you're being consumed by work and you feel overwhelmed, well, rather than like, oh, I'm not gonna do it and ignore it, it's just gonna amplify and it's gonna create more anxiety. Just go at it. Even if you don't complete it all in one day, at least you're taking one step forward. And I remember it was like a stupid Kaiser commercial. It said something like, "Oh, even if you take 2 step forwards and 1 step back, that's still 1 step in the right direction." And I was like, "Fuck, that's fucking clever." So I always thought of that, like, even if it feels like if you're going, even if you have a setback, you're still moving forward to that
Yeah.
destination.
Yeah.
So
Basically, you're just focusing on your accomplishments.
yeah,
Yeah.
rather than
That
your
is good.
setbacks.
But you're right.
Yeah,
That is stupid coming from Kaiser.
yeah,
Why don't
yeah.
you taking the step in the right direction, not costing so much,
Please,
fuckers?
please, dude, freaking Kaiser.
Or send me an itemized invoice. No, I'm kidding. All right, like I'm off my soapbox.
There you go. So with that being said, I highlighted well 4, but then we threw in one
Yeah, we threw a water one
together.
in there. It's
Yeah.
important.
So the 4, I guess, are tells from the head tips to help you deal with anxiety. Um, is go for walks, listen to music, drink tea, drink non-caffeinated tea, and address the anxiety and manage it.
Mm-hmm.
And after all that, don't forget to drink water.
Yep. Water's very important, guys. I mean, it makes up 98% of who we are. I don't know if that's 100% true.
I thought it was 80%.
80?
I'm not sure. I just remember Tom Green was like,
Tom Green. Here
he
we
was
go.
swimming. He was swimming some lake, and he goes, "If science is right, I'm made up of 80% of water, so I'm only gonna need 20% to swim over this lake."
That is the perfect example of what I just said. Oh, that is beautiful. God bless Tom Green, a Canadian treasure.
I think it was Tom Green. I'll find the skit and I'll send it.
Either way, that was exactly what needed to be said, and I appreciate you for it.
Thank you.
God, that's amazing.
You said something ridiculous like that, and I'm like, my high school age, I'm like, yeah, he's right. If we're 80% of water, he's only going to need 20% of his body to swim across the lake.
I'm just going to use an arm. Dude, that's hilarious. Oh, Tommy Green, you crazy son of a bitch. Speaking of crazy sons of bitches, we got to get out and go out in the world, people. You know, it's fun being here and being with you, but we got other things. We have obligations. We have things to do. We have things to avoid. We gotta get our day going. Drink some of that real. I gotta actually drink some caffeine because I got the opposite of anxiety. I need to shoot liquid cocaine into my body so I can help raise my children.
You need that cocaine. No, I need to drink some more water, and I just gotta practice what I preach, and I gotta start like doing work. I go back to school, not with students yet, but with like meetings and stuff. Not this coming weekend, but the week of the 26th. So, and that's just gonna be a fucking hassle. I know it is.
Oh, we need to do a live show this next week, then, huh?
Yeah, dude, we can make that happen.
Well, because when are you actually unavailable again?
Like for in person?
Yeah.
And the week of starting the week of the 26th.
Oh, that's like, so you have this week and then you're back on.
Yeah, and like I think I've shared this, but if you're a first time listener, I'm launching a new course at my school, ethnic studies. And
nice.
I had like the past 6 weeks or whatever to like start writing curriculum and like have an idea. Which I haven't. But I do have I do know what I like. I've been doing research and kind of what I want to do. So again, I feel like I have so much work to do for this coming week, and I'm gonna be freaking a fucking asshole because my inside is gonna kick up. But I do have already like first 2 weeks is gonna be introduction of why we need like ethnic studies or what's the historical aspect of it.
Right.
And then like identity, like what is that? What is your who you are and where and who you are, how's your role in the society that we live in and stuff like that. And then signs of oppression and systematic and social oppression. So I have a general idea. It's just like getting to like the details that I need to start doing.
I think also once you get progress, you'll feel better about it. It's just like you said, you haven't really hit the pen to the pad quite yet. So it's once it gets to that point, I think you'll actually have some gratification to go off of. That's the main thing we're talking about right here.
Yeah, and I mean, this past week I took like a couple of mornings where I started reading like a book and see what they're doing. So I'm like, okay, I can use this for this part, or when I go into this, when I go into that. So I definitely know what I want to do, and like I have a better understanding than beginning, but I'm not as far as advanced as I want it to be.
Yeah. Well, but I feel like, you're on track and it'll probably evolve as you go. So
absolutely.
I know you, and you're just getting your homework in, and then you're going to hit this hard, which is good though, cuz you're definitely doing your research and figuring out exactly what you want to do, which is important. Yeah. That's the main thing.
And you know what? And if they don't like it, I quit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you? They can ethnically figure out how that disaster blow up in their face.
Yeah. I will quit, I hear there's a t-shirt shortage. I will quit and I'll go somewhere else.
You're like, yeah, I'll go somewhere else to be
That's
oppressed. Oh, look, it's systemic oppression. Here we are again.
Yeah, systemic oppression. There you
and
go.
this class is a prime example. You're like packing your shit up in a box.
And this is why.
Oh my God. You're still teaching them? Like the cops pushing your face out of the door. You're like, don't let them take you.
Don't let the system get you. Don't let the machine get you.
That's awesome. Oh, see, you have real rage against the machine, Danny, not like these posers. We were just talking about
because I have my speaker right here for work. I'll be walking around with Ricky and
your ghetto blaster.
Yeah, Bulls on Parade or something, or
Dana.
Fuck.
Oh, dude, there was a great meme I saw. Oh, I don't know if you're gonna like it, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. It said 1990s. It's totally anti-liberal, but it's funny. It said 1990s liberals. It says, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. And then it said 2020 liberals, fuck you, you should do what they tell you. And I was like, okay, even if you're not, But then some guy posted against the conservative view, which was a good point. He said, and the conservatives were against it in the 90s too.
That's true.
So no matter what, and that just proves the point. No matter what, they're never going to agree.
No,
never. And that's the beauty of politics. It's all bullshit. So anyway, I wanted to end with that little funny thing that I appreciated. I also appreciated his comment because I was like, you know what? That's a good point. That is a very good point because even though we're bashing one political side, the other political side was still dumb enough to disagree with them back then too, and now they're the opposite. So. They're all flip-floppers. It's fun. We need to laugh at each other more.
It's whatever their team captain tells them what to do.
Yeah. They're fearless leaders.
And I am putting myself into that as well.
Yeah. Well, you got to start somewhere.
You need to start kissing some boots every now and then. Or licking some boots
Licking some boots. Don't do it, Danny. You're not a bootlicker. I don't believe it.
I don't like boots.
No. And they're made for walking, not licking. All right?
So boots, start walking.
That's right. Walk on out of here. And we're going to walk on out of here, guys. Thanks for... This is such a shitty way. Thanks for listening. And as usual, be safe, be kind, and don't talk to strangers.